Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. Now today we're going to be looking at the newest version of the main battle tank, which is the main battle tank Mark 29.8, aka Surge. Now for the most part this is a heavy armor variant on the Wyvern. These two vehicles share a lot in common, however there are some differences. Let me delete my lift real quick. And let me hop in so we can take a look around. So now, as you could probably already tell, this was heavily inspired by the real-world Abrams. A lot of my armor designs are designed based off of the Abrams or similar American style of tanks. And let's go ahead and just drive it around. This does have the full stabilizer in it. And it does use my default control scheme. I do have another version which doesn't use the default control scheme, which I'll explain here in a second. So, like normal, 1 is left, 2 is up, 3 is down, 4 is right, 5 is the main gun, 6 is the machine guns. This time the machine gun, instead of being on a button, it is on a switch. This should help if you're trying to do fire on the move situations. However, this vehicle is not particularly good with fire on the move. I'll explain why here in a second. Let's aim for that rock in the distance and see if we can hit it. And fire. There we go, nice direct hit. Now the reason this isn't the best for fire on the move situations is because of the gun depression. This gun cannot go down very far, so this is level right here, and this is its max gun depression. The reason for this being that where the bullet actually comes out of the mantlet here will often strike the front of the tank if it goes down any further. So if I bring the barrel down any further than this, I will most oftentimes blow off that front wheel or damage my frontal armor if I'm aiming directly forward. So I had to put a manual limit, you can actually see it right there, into the turret to prevent the gun from going down too far and prevent me from damaging myself unintentionally, which causes the issue that as you're driving and if you try to fire on the move, if you hit too much of a bump, it will knock your gun off balance just because there is that physical limiter right there. Let's go ahead and take this for a quick drive. It's a little bit clunky just because of its size, but it's surprisingly light for its size, simply because this has a very spaced armor setup. Just about half of the armor is not there, because it's done in layers, and if I go ahead and hop out and cut a big section out of the turret, it would probably be the best place to do it. Let me remove this little light here. And if I cut a chunk off the top of this, you will see that the armor is done in layers like this. If I go there, you see that another layer, and that is how the armor is set up all the way through the tank. So far it seems to give me a similar, if not the exact same armor value as a normal tank would, the difference being I'm about half the weight. So this allows me to get much bigger vehicles without having to do obnoxiously complex suspension or like the torsion bar suspension that was on the Mark 23, I think. It allows me to use just the normal suspension piece suspension that works a little bit better and is a little bit more comfortable, and it keeps me at the similar, or if not the same, armor setup, just I'm substantially lighter. So there's one more variant I do want to take a look at. This is the Mark 29.8M. So this is the one we're just looking at is the normal version that will be up on the workshop, and the Mark 29, Mark 29M is a personal variant for myself that uses a different control scheme. So recently I got a new mouse which has a lot of macro buttons on it. If you've been on the Discord, I've talked about it, I've shown it off a little bit. But I've keybound all of my turret controls to this mouse, so I can go turret right, turret left, gun up, gun down, fire my machine guns, fire the main gun, all from my mouse while controlling. So I can just, I don't know how well I can actually just prove to you that I'm using my mouse, so I guess you'll just have to take my word for it that I am using mouse controls right now. And I hit the rock. It actually went through the rock. There we go. I'm probably not going to be uploading this version to the workshop simply because it is very specific to me and the mouse that I use. But I might if people want it, or if people have the same mouse. I know a few people actually have this mouse. It is the Logitech G600, by the way, if you're wondering. And I'm all out of ammo. So I think there's one last thing that we need to do with this tank, and that is to test the armor, because it is a heavy armor variant. I think the armor is one of those things that we really need to put to the test. So I'm going to grab 2 new tanks, and we're going to have a bit of a showdown real quick. Alright, and I've got 2 tanks set up at what I would consider to be a reasonable engagement distance. Both tanks have all of their ammo inside, so it does leave the possibility for ammo racks. Let's go ahead and line up a shot, and I'm going to go for hull first. See if we can get any damage there. A little bit down, right there. Fire. It appears I struck the cheek of the turret. I'm going to run over there, and we're going to check that damage. So there we hit right there on the cheek. It took out a little bit of that top armor off of the hull, and took out most of that right, or that left cheek technically. Our right, the tank's left. Alright, and getting ready for shot number 2. Let's go for this other cheek this time. Actually, let's go for dead side of the tank. Let's hit right there by the tracks. See if we can detonate the seat right there. Fire. And let's go see what damage we've done. So here's right where we hit. We took out the wheel. We did a little bit of damage to the skirt, but we didn't even scratch the hull apparently. We did take a little bit of the decoration off the turret, but not much damage there either. I'm really happy with that actually. I think that was more of a lucky blow with the round. I think the round might have actually bounced off the skirt originally. So let's go for a few more rounds. Let's see what we can do to this tank now. Alright, and I've actually reloaded all of my rounds, so I've got 4 rounds in the chamber. I'm going to send all 4 down range and see if we can destroy this tank once and for all. Let's go ahead and aim up. And ready, aim, fire. I'm actually surprised I didn't take out the seat there. Fire. Took out the hull. Fire. That hit the top of the gun. I'm surprised it didn't ammo rack actually. Like, that is a weak point I just hit. Fire. And I'm all out of ammo. Let's go take a look at that. Alright, and let's see. I can see one hit there. That's the one I thought hit the seat, but no, it hit right next to the cheek, the front cheek. So it still hit the front cheek. There's another one hit here, which actually hit, I think, the face of the gun. That's the one I thought hit the top of the gun. It didn't hit far enough back to ammo rack. It hit right there on the front cheek again. Another one hit right here. Dead center of the hull, taking out a big chunk of the front armor. I'm not sure where the 4th one hit. We shot 4 rounds, so there's 1 there, 2, 3. I don't know where the 4th one went. I think the 4th one might have hit the ground and blew up. So let's actually lift the tank up, see if we can find that 4th one. Yep, right there it is. Here's number 4. It hit right by that wheel, right there by this wheel, and just took out this underside. Didn't do much damage. And I think right there is actually the turret ring. This box right here is the turret ring. So it got really close to knocking out the turret ring. So I'm actually really happy with that. I'm surprised some of those hits didn't kill it. It appears we didn't get any armor penetration on this tank. A lot of times the rounds will go straight to the armor, but a lot of these look like they detonated on impact. I'm not sure if that was a change to the game recently that helped with just the impacts, or if it's just the range we're engaging. Because if we're engaging at far enough range, in theory the round should slow down enough to detonate on impact rather than penetrate. But I'm actually like surprised. I thought I was going to ammo rack it there at least twice, but it's still fighting. Actually maybe not, because I don't... Oh, this is set up to my mouse controls. I was using 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I don't have aiming guns anymore, but I should be able to, in theory, fight back. And I'm all out of ammo. So I'm really happy with that. I didn't expect it to survive 6 rounds we hit. So, yeah, I guess it does live up to its heavy armor variant. A lot of my tanks are surprisingly easy to kill, especially the new ones, simply because of the ammo that is stored in them at all times. And it becomes harder and harder to protect that. So, I'm actually genuinely shocked that survived 6 direct hits. One of those rounds hit right here, it appears, which blew out the wheel and took out a chunk of my hull. Where'd that other one hit? The other one hit right on top of the turret, and it appears to have disabled my gun elevation system, or damaged it. I think I can still technically aim. I can't aim down, but I can aim up still. Oh well. Anyway, I am going to end the episode here, so if you did enjoy, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe, it helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most, so if you do want to help the channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.